I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Chespin. The Pokemon games have always taken inspiration from classic console RPGs. So the story goes, the developers at Game Freak wanted to trade rare drops from Dragon Quest, and this led to their creating the trade system, and putting Pokemon on a Game Boy. The console RPG, especially in those early days, owed a lot to the pen and paper RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, and so Western fantasy tropes like knights, wizards, and so on are ubiquitous. The 6th Pokemon generation is set in the Kalos region, the first Pokemon region based on an area of Europe, in this case, France. Bringing us full circle, the starter trio draw inspiration from a classic RPG adventure party of warrior, mage, and rogue. Chespin is the grass-type starter, a spiny mammal like a hedgehog, combined with the similarly spiny shell of a chestnut or conker. The name incorporates chestnut and pin, while the Japanese name, Harimaron, combines Harinezumi, the Japanese for hedgehog, and Maron, the Japanese for chestnut. Just like its real-world inspirations in the animal and plant kingdom, these spines are primarily defensive. Pokemon Y tells us, "Such a thick shell of wood covers its head and back that even a direct hit from a truck wouldn't faze it." And Pokemon Violet tells us, "Eating lots of berries makes the bark shell that covers Chespin's head and body grow sturdier." Chespin is a well-rounded starter pick, though, as it is more than capable of dishing out attacks as well. Pokemon X says, "The quills on its head are usually soft. When it flexes them, the points become so hard and sharp that they can pierce rock." And Pokemon Scarlet says, "When Chespin tenses up just before landing a headbutt, the spikes on its head sharpen to points, piercing the enemy's body on contact." At level 16, Chespin curls up into an even sturdier ball when it evolves into Quilladin. Quilladin is almost entirely encased in a green spherical shell, only its brown face and limbs poking out. Pokemon X tells us, "It relies on its sturdy shell to deflect predators' attacks. It counterattacks with its sharp quills." The name Quilladin combines quill, as in the spikes on a hedgehog, with paladin, a noble warrior and a class in Dungeons and Dragons. Paladins are among the most honourable and heroic classes, played for excellent laughs in the D&D movie Honor Among Thieves. Pokemon Y says, "They strengthen their lower bodies by running into one another. They are very kind and won't start fights." The Japanese name is Hariborg, combining Harinezumi this time with Bogu, the Japanese word for armour, or Bogue, the French for chestnut shell. In the real world, the Paladins were said to have been 12 knights loyal to the French king Charlemagne, similar to Arthur's Knights of the Round Table. Quilladin can become a knight when, at level 36, it evolves into Chesnaught. Chesnaught stands proud in a hulking suit of plant-based armour, its large shoulder and chest area making the Pokemon resemble a Krogan warrior from Mass Effect, or, given the colour scheme as well, the Pixar character Buzz Lightyear. Along with its knighthood, the Pokemon has gained a secondary fighting type. The Japanese name is Brigaron, combining Maron or chestnut with Brigandine, a piece of armour worn by some French knights. The English name Chesnaught combines chestnut with knights, or perhaps Dreadnought, the large battleship. Pokemon X tells us, "Its tackle is forceful enough to flip a 50-ton tank. It shields its allies from danger with its own body." While Pokemon Y tells us, "When it takes a defensive posture with its fists guarding its face, it could withstand a bomb blast. Knights were great warriors, of course, but also later developed the famous codes of chivalry, intended to make them upstanding citizens and beacons of virtue. Chesnaught is also as good as it is strong. Pokemon Scarlet tells us, when its allies are in trouble, Chesnaught creates a shield with its arms and uses its own body to block attacks. And Pokemon Violet says, its gentle disposition would have it avoid conflict, but it gives opponents a thrashing with its thorned fists when the situation calls for it. Chesnaught, appropriately for its design, is a bulky monster, and did see some competitive play as a defensive beast that throws down spikes. I remember when the 6th generation was new, and Chespin, especially its evolutions, was the least popular of the starter trio. People made fun of the large final form and compared it to Buzz Lightyear, but I always liked the chunky fella, and actually chose it for my original playthrough, back when the games were new, and I still love it now. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. If you enjoy the podcast, find out about my other shows at podcastiopodcastius.org, or get in touch on Blue Sky at podcastpodcast, or even support the show at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love hearing from listeners. Up next are Fennekin and Froakie, so hit me up about those or any other Pokemon. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Chespin, and remember, I love you too.